Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Geek Region YouTube channel. Now this is going to be my review of Season 1 of The Flash by the CW, and then I'm going to do the top 6 moments that stood out for me. So before I do the top 6 moments, I'm going to do a quick review of the TV series, and I have to say this is possibly one of the best TV series, comic book wise, that I've seen debut. There was not one thing I disliked about this TV series. Everything worked for me. There wasn't an episode where I was going through my iPad or I was, looking at my dinner or I was bored. Every episode had a story to tell and it told it beautifully. And the way the CW have told this, it's made it easier for people who haven't read the comics as thoroughly as, say, it was for me. Like, I've read comics from The Flash, but not to the different arcs and series that they've got out there. But then afterwards, it's made me want to go and find out more about the comics, and then and also like the animated stuff, like the Flashpoint Paradox. I've went to go and watch that purely because the last episodes, it sort of links in. It's quite similar to that. If you haven't seen it, buy it on DVD when it comes out, because it'll be one of the best TV series you'll own on your shelf. What stood out for me the most was I liked how they told the story of Barry's powers as the Flash as the series went on. So what I mean by that is I like how he got his powers, didn't know what was going on, went to Star Labs, Dr. Harrison Wells, worked them out, helped them, trained them, told them how to enhance his powers and then develop these powers even more. I like how every other episode was a new power. So it was either, speeding up on a treadmill, developing his speed, or it was running up the side of a building, or it was putting out a fire with his arms, and then eventually time travel. I like how there was no rush to get it all, all squeezed into 5 episodes. Like, obviously, like with Smallville, it was power development over 10 series to the last couple of minutes of him being Superman. But in this one, it was just no rush. I mean, there's holes there to fill with more powers in series 2 and later series, because that's not all we're going to see, I don't think, from the terms of development for Barry's powers. I like how the CW took the plunge and used time travel, and they announced that quite early on when the series came out, that we were going to see bits and pieces from time travel. It's a brave move, because I know that sometimes when shows try to do time travel, it kind of doesn't make sense sometimes and people can get lost, but the way they've done this is it makes sense and also leaves you open for discussion and debate with, oh, this is going to happen here, it's going to happen here. Like, I've been discussing this with people at work, and they see this as a way of seeing different villains, different storylines, different plots of different episodes. It was really well written, and the CW have really got themselves a gem in their midst, along with Arrow. Speaking of the Arrow, you've got the crossover with those guys. Like, I know that the Flash wasn't the Flash when he took on the Arrow, and he was hyped up on Rage. But watching them go head to head was just amazing. It was like 5 minutes worth of just amazement. Seeing like the villains like Grodd, and then eventually the Reverse Flash and the Weather Wizard, and other villains like that. Especially Grodd with the visual effects was just outstanding. Like, I've never seen a comic book TV series take the plunge with that kind of special effects. Like, you see them with other ones and they're a bit like iffy, and you can also tell like they're highly CGI'd, and you also like pretty much they don't feel realistic. But with the likes of Grodd and the Reverse Flash's powers, you can't tell the difference. I generally thought at first when I seen the pictures of Gorilla Grodd that it was actual real gorilla. And what the best thing is that over the series, because they're going to have, because of the higher ratings for Series 1, they're going to have more money to spend on enhancing Grodd and making the special effects a bit more cleaner. I can't wait for stuff like that, honestly. Gorilla Grodd and Reverse Flash, out of all the villains, stood out for me. Also, with the Reverse Flash, the way they revealed who it was, brilliant, because I had my money on Eddie Thawne. I think every other person, except a couple, had their eyes and money on Eddie Thawne being announced as the Reverse Flash, and then when it was revealed as Dr. Harrison Wells, who is really Eobard Thawne, I think it caught a lot of people by surprise, and I was one of them. All in all, the way it ended was brilliant, although I didn't like how it ended, but in a good way, because obviously it left me wanting more. But the CW have got something special to work on now, and for Series 2 we're going to see a lot more things different kind of enemies. We're going to see more of the rogues. Then we've got Legends of Tomorrow that ties in with everything. The TV series for comic book heroes, it's going to be something to watch and keep an eye on, basically. Brilliant TV series, and I really hope it goes further and bigger and gets better. Okay, so here's my top 6 moments from The Flash Series 1. So number 6, the creation of The Flash and how he's developed. So we'll find out that Dr. Harrison Wells planned all along that he wanted to use the part accelerator to give Barry Allen his powers as the Flash. That caught us off guard, but then watching him be the Flash made sense. Like watching Barry just, go from a regular guy to a speedster, get his costume, saving the day, develop powers, run up buildings, using his arms to blow out fires, run around a part accelerator to Mark II, to run as quick as ever ran before, time travel as well. Loved it, absolutely loved it. Number 5, Gorilla Grodd. I could not do a top 6 moments without mentioning Gorilla Grodd, because he was, although I didn't see a lot of him when he took on the Flash, he made a really intense and intimidating baddie, and I'm really excited how they're going to evolve him in Series 2 and more. Like, I've seen some of the comics and the arcs of him in armour and, speaking almost fluent English in the arcs. I would love to see that in Series 2, 3, 4 and 5, for how long they do it. I'd love to see him in armour, I'd love to see him speak fluent English. I would love to see him take over people's minds more. But I loved how they just dropped him in now and then, rather than just spoiling it with one full out episode with him. We've seen him at the start, and then we've seen a couple of times during the middle of this TV series. He showed up with Harrison Wells. We found out that he's almost like Harrison Wells is like a father figure to him. We see he has his ability to write now and think. He's got all the ingredients there to make a pain in the arse for the Flash, and after the first encounter, there's no reason why the Flash will struggle with taking out Gorilla Grodd. Number 4, Flash versus Arrow. This is, without a shadow of a doubt, like I said before, my favourite episode through the entire series. Watching these two disagree with each other with that intensity, and then going head to head, battling it out, bows, fists, speed tornadoes, speed punches, everything. It had me on the edge of my seat thinking, I just want more. And when the fight finished, I was a bit good, because I kind of hoped it was going to be more than 5 minutes. I wanted it to be 10, 15, and a whole episode of them fighting, basically. And on top of that, it looked like it was fun to do, to film and watch them, eventually become partners, which later on in the series comes together nicely. And then obviously you've got the Legends of Tomorrow, when they come together and sort out the Legends and, have the team there. The episode has its highs and lows. Highs being all the fight scenes and setting everything else, like I said, and lows, it's not long enough. Number 3, the Reverse Flash is Dr. Wells, aka Eobard Thawne. I don't know about you, but when Dr. Harrison Wells was shown as the Reverse Flash, I had no words to explain what I've just watched. I did not see that coming. I thought Eddie Thawne was going to be the Reverse Flash. He looked like him, sounded a lot like him, he acted strangely, there was something about him that didn't quite make sense. Then that got totally blown out of the water, and it was Dr. Harrison Wells. We always knew that Harrison Wells was going to be a bit fishy, he's able to walk, he had that newspaper article so far into the future with the Flash gone missing, and then eventually, he has announced himself as a Reverse Flash, which the best thing was when he took out Cisco and said, "Some say I'm the Reverse." That was one of the lines that have stuck with me since that episode got shown. And also when he took out Cisco, that broke my heart a little bit, because I love Cisco in this TV series. Him, Caitlin, the Flash, as Team Flash, brilliant. And some of the one-liners that he comes out with is brilliant. Number 2, time traveling Flash. Seeing the Flash time travel for the first time was just spectacular. I think he time travelled a day backwards. I like how when he was running, he got to see himself in the future, or the present day. And then obviously at the start of the episode, we got to see him the other way around. He gets to see a mirror image of himself running, and he's like, what's going on? I loved how they've told that story and used time travel to tell it. The last thing we're seeing was he run up and down the coastline. He was trying to prevent the tsunami from happening. Prior to that, he told Iris that he loved her, he cared for her, he knows he had feelings for her, and he kissed her. And then next thing you know, he's screaming down this, like up and down the coastline, and the next thing you know, he's time traveling. He's found himself a day backwards, basically, and alters the timeline to the point where he saves Cisco, stop Harrison Wells from killing Cisco, and just totally muddles up the timeline. In the last episode, we got to see him time travel some more. He went back to save his mother, but we're seeing images of the future, of alternate timelines. Possibly Caitlin as Killer Frost. We don't know if it's going to be in series 2 this one, we don't know. It was just exciting to see how he's able to do this and how the CW who have told the story are using time travel in a simpler term and not getting everyone confused, which at the minute it has. It's their own way of probably telling the story and their own way of saying this is time travel, so we're going to tell it and enjoy it. Okay, number 1, Barry doesn't save his mother. So when you're watching the final episode, you get that sense of it's building up to the point where Barry is going to go back in time, he's going to save his mother, he's going to erase everyone that he knows, so Team Flash, Iris, Joe, everyone that he knows and loves and is grown close to, they're all going to be gone. So he has his goodbye, he says his goodbyes, time travels. Like I said before, we see all these flashes of like potential new plots and episodes, and then we get to him saving his mother, and we see a future him, opens the door, see a future him, and he's basically put his hand out to say, don't do it, like don't do it. And then so he has to painfully listen to his mother getting killed. But then there's that lovely emotional moment of where Grant Gustin, who does this wonderfully by the way, has this emotional goodbye with his mother, and he says, look, it's Barry, it's me, I'm your son from the future. And then, he says he loves her, which, is right in the feels. And it was just a beautiful way of him finally getting to say goodbye to his mom. He never got a chance to say goodbye to her because he was saved by himself, we find out. And it was just such a nice way to just, round everything up. It's all come down to this point where he wanted to save his mother and he was told not to, so he didn't want to alter the timeline, because we got told earlier on by Dr. Harrison Wells that if someone gets changed the timeline, the rest of it will have a dramatic effect at some point, because you've mixed the timeline, so something's going to come back and bite him in the backside. So maybe all the advice he was given, particularly from his dad, it just made that decision a little bit easier for him, but it was more at the same time painful to hear him hear his mother getting killed. So there you have it. That's my top 6 moments from The Flash, as well as my review of Series 1. My question for you is, did you enjoy Series 1? Did you not like Series 1? Was it something that you didn't like? Was it something you loved? Are you looking forward to Series 2? What do you expect from Series 2? Just let us know in the comment section below, or on Facebook or on Twitter. I'll put everything in the links below. I'll put the screenshots of videos you can check out that I've done before. I think I've done a Legends of Tomorrow trailer reaction, and I've also done a Mad Max review as well, so go and check that out if you don't mind. So yeah, thanks for watching guys, and roll on Series 2.